The movie itself is so poorly constructed, but there is still, throughout the whole 2.5 hours, some semblance of a movie that should be 1,000 times better than it actually is.
Yeah.
And that's what the most frustrating thing was for me, is that it's there, and you know it's there, but it does not shine through.
The goods are there, it's just they're not used correctly.
No.
It's like building a puzzle backwards.
And that's the perfect analogy for it. You are putting the pieces in all the right places, but there's no picture.
Yeah, we're back, and we've got things to say.
We've got loads to say, so we're going to get through this as quickly as possible. As you know by now, obviously, we're PopVulture. My name's Cole.
My name is Az.
And this is our Batman vs Superman review. You saw from the last video how excited I was about Batman vs Superman.
It was like this.
It was more like... Yeah.
Yeah, well, I saw it before you.
You did? You saw it a night before I did?
Yeah, I saw it the night before. I was at an advanced preview, and I must admit, I watched it.
That's definitely what you did.
I watched it. I left feeling nothing, which is not good. I watched the first showing, and I was like, okay, I feel like something was wrong with that. And I was like, I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was.
No.
So I was like, okay, we're seeing it again tomorrow night. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow night. I'm going to let it all sink in.
We'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
Which is when I saw it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have really had a better environment to see it. We went to the BFI IMAX in London, which is the biggest cinema screen in the country, and also the guy pointed out in Europe at the moment, because the one in Spain burnt down.
The film, getting into it, is a spectacle.
It is.
And it's, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful looking film.
It was always going to be.
No one can argue Zack Snyder's cinematography.
No. Go back and look at Watchmen, go back and look at even Man of Steel. Obviously every movie he puts out is visually designed to sort of wow.
The film, for me, the big issue for the film is when I go to see a movie, I go for an emotional investment. Yeah. I think everybody does the same. You just sit for them to laugh, you cry. I don't know if it's a horror, you get scared. You know what I mean. You have an
emotional connection. Yeah.
This film is devoid of emotion.
There's nothing.
There is nothing.
And that's a testament to the lack of character development, of which there is basically none. The main character, if you will, is Superman in this, but it's more a movie about the idea of Superman than it is about Superman himself. And it's so heavily front-loaded that if you haven't seen Man of Steel, then you're going to have even more difficulty actually connecting with Superman as a character.
We carry straight on from Man of Steel. Obviously, Bruce is aware of Batman.
Yeah.
Batman?
Bruce is
he's aware he's Batman. I'm
Yeah.
glad he's aware of that. He's aware of Superman, and obviously is sceptical on what he is and what he is going to do.
What his intentions are, obviously as an alien, and obviously causing all this destruction. He seems to sort of wantonly not really care about the rest of the population, and he has the power to be able to destroy them all. And that is the only real explanation we have as to why Batman would want to fight
I
Superman.
felt that was very un-Batman.
Yes. Can we just touch on it being un-Batman for a little while? Obviously, we're going to try and avoid as many spoilers as we can.
We won't outline major plot points. We'll maybe deviate into smaller parts, which are tiny niggles of spoils.
And obviously, this might be a little tiny spoiler, so if you want to sort of skip ahead a little bit, then do so. Can we just touch on the fact that Batman and Superman both just straight up murder people?
100%. Zack Snyder himself says to look at it as manslaughter. He's not actually killing them. It's if Batman blows something up and someone happens to get caught in the explosion, they're just, bystanders. It's manslaughter. It's not intentional.
No.
Horse
Horse
Fuck you.
And obviously Zack Snyder then went on in a lot of the damage control interviews that he's done to sort of say, well, the reason that we put that in, the reason that we made Batman kill people or sort of commit manslaughter was because it happens in the source material. It straight up does not happen in the source material. There are two fundamental comic book storylines that run throughout this film. You've got Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns storyline, and you've got spoiler potentially. Those two storylines are thrown together so haphazardly that the end result is something so frustratingly awkward and just genuinely disappointing that the only resulting things that we get from those actual storylines are the Batman armour, which everybody's already seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
We get a couple of lines straight from the page, maybe a splash page or two.
There's a couple of shots. I mean, everybody saw that one in the trailer of obviously Bats doing the grapple away with the lightning in the Dark Knight Returns pose.
Nowhere in Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns storyline does Batman straight up murder anyone.
No. There is a whole segment in that book where Joker is trying to force him to kill him, and he outright refuses because he doesn't do it.
He doesn't kill people. And he spends an extensive period of time in that book explaining to the Joker why he won't kill him.
Because it make him one of them.
Yeah. What do you think the plot was? What do you think the story was?
Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you. Obviously, the underlying plot is Batman wanting to take out... And do you know what really f***ed me off as well, actually, right?
Right.
Is, obviously, Batman, his argument for wanting to take out Superman is because, you know, he's an alien and he's got all these superpowers, whatever. And it feels like they f***ing shoehorn in there that Clark Kent's like, oh, this Bat guy who's in Gotham, he's a bad egg. And makes it so Superman has to make a point, which we see in the trailer.
Yeah.
Make a point of going to Gotham and be like, f***ing stop your shit, Batman. Can I just throw something out there?
Yeah.
As much as we're slating the things that are wrong with the film, I'd personally say it's worth seeing.
Yeah, it's not the worst movie in the world.
It's not the worst movie in the world. The biggest disappointment is that a film with the two of the biggest icons in comic books, and leading into a Justice League movie, to have a plot which is devoid of anything.
The expectation is very, very high off the back of the fact that you've got two very heavy hitters in the title of the movie, and also we were introduced quite early on to the fact that it is going to set the scene for a Justice League film.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I guess it does. But at the same time, it's very heavily shoehorned in there. It's very awkwardly done, and the editing, the pacing of the whole thing is just pointless.
I don't think they should have made this a Batman vs Superman film. I think that's the problem with this film. I think they f***ed it with the title. Yeah. The whole point of Batman going after and trying to f***ing kill Superman, that shouldn't have been it. That's not what this film should have been. That's the problem with this film. The problem with this film is it should have never been about them two going against each other. No. Okay, so we've spoken about the stuff we didn't like. What did you like?
Okay.
Because I know there was things I liked.
Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
Through and through, the best Batman that we've seen on screen.
100%. Jeremy Irons is the best Alfred we've seen on screen.
And their relationship
is fantastic.
Is spot on. Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She might not be the hugest woman in the entire world. She may not be an
She looks great.
Who gives a shit? She looks great. The best part of the score is her.
It's her little thing, yeah.
And she's not even in the movie for a very long time.
She's not. No. Nice little introduction to her.
Nice little introduction.
It was disappointing. It's not, but as hard as we sound as we're going into it, like I say, I would always recommend someone to go see it.
Go see it. Form your own opinions.
100%.
We're coming from a place that's as unbiased as we possibly can be as fans of the genre and as fans of the source material.
And of the characters.
Exactly.
I think should we score it?
Yeah.
So I'm really I have no idea. It's been like 2 days and I don't know what your score is and I want to know.
Okay. This has been my score ever since we saw the movie. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed?
No.
Even after thinking it all out?
It hasn't changed.
Okay.
42 out of 88.
42?
Less than half. Just.
Less than half. See, okay, I was going to give it 44.
Half.
I was going to go half.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it deserves half. Because I think we have half a movie there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it half a score. Like we just said, is the pieces are all f***ing there. It's just, they've not been quite put together right.
Another one of my concerns is that Zack Snyder is directing the Justice League film. Zack Snyder has not made a good film since Watchmen. And his stamp is all over this movie in a very awkward way.
Zack Snyder is the Michael Bay of the comic book movie world. And that is f***ing it. And if anyone argues that, then
you're silly.
You're crazy, because it's true.
It's not the movie it should have been.
Exactly.
And I think we'll end it there.
I think we'll end it there. So I think obviously combined score then 43 out of 88 because we go one to each other.
You tried Zack Snyder, but you got 1 point less than half.
Yeah.
As with all of our videos, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a cheeky subscribe, because that's what we're looking for from you.
Subscriptions.
Go back and watch any of our other reviews. We recently put out our review of 10 Cloverfield Lane as well. It's that side.
Do check the film out though, guys. Legit, it's worth seeing. It's 100% worth seeing. I mean, just for the sheer fact of seeing two icons clash.
And we're interested in what you thought about the movie.
Let us know. Please comment
below.
We don't always get lots of comments, but I think on this film, please comment.
Thanks for watching.
We're PopVulture. See you later.
Take care.
That was the worst Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Not too much. Like James Brown. Not too much.